I blame myself for the suicide of my fiancé. Her parents erased her. I don't even have a grave to mourn. I'm a 32-year-old male. She was a 31-year-old trans woman and the absolute love of my life. I don't know if soulmates exist, but that's what she was to me. Charming, intelligent, strong, independent, fierce. Everything I needed to balance out my typically over-polite and over-apologetic self. We were electric, and together I thought we were unstoppable. Truly a power couple. But like anyone, we had our issues. She struggled immensely with dysphoria and a sense of not belonging, and I had struggled with alcoholism since I was 19. She hated when I got drunk because she thought I was drowning out my intelligence, wit, and wasting my potential. Of course, she was right. On her end, her parents were legit fucking psycho. They were members of some Christian cult following in Amarillo, Texas. They hated her for being queer and had long since disowned her. Despite being long distance, we met up as often as we could. I've never felt so loved and valued than those days. Then, in October 24, 2024, the day after her birthday, I woke up to the worst day of my life. I couldn't reach her that morning, and I figured she was busy at work. But then hours later, we all got it. A scheduled message on Telegram sent to all of her friends. It was her suicide note. That morning, she walked out into traffic on I-35 in SW New Braunfels and was killed upon impact. The part of the note left for me was very simple. To Riz, you're the love of my life. I think of us living our lives together. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to stay with you. I firmly believe the strength she was referring to was her capacity to tolerate my drinking. Her parents claimed her body, had her cremated, and spread her ashes at an unknown spot. They erased my fiancé from fucking existence. I'm sober now. I wish I had the strength to get sober then. Well, I hold out hope of finding love again someday. I can't imagine finding someone else like her. I let her slip through my fingers. I could have been stronger and helped her. I've lost everything. It's been over a year and I still cry about her every day. But I don't have anyone to blame but myself. And by the way, edit to add, to the asshole that got banned when I was speaking about my most recent fiancé, I have been attempting to move on. I became re-engaged to an old flame, but unfortunately, that relation ended when he became violent, which is why I'm now missing my late fiancé as much as I am. I think I thought I was over it for a very long time. I'm not. I doubt there is anyone else on earth as perfect for me as she was.
You honor her memory every day by staying sober. Keep up the good fight. So sorry for your loss. Her message about being strong enough to stay with you wasn't about your drinking, it was about her depression. She wished she was strong enough to hold on, but her pain made so she couldn't see she was. You already have enough grief to navigate. Please don't think you're the reason she did this, but also stay sober because you deserve to live a sober life and you deserve happiness and love.
Thank you. I choose to stay sober because she chose to believe in me.
To me, it was the opposite. It was everything else in her life crashing down on her. Everywhere she looked, she unfortunately didn't see hope except with you. I've struggled with those thoughts. I've weighed the cost so many times and it got close before I got help. And fortunately today I'm a lot better with a different outlook on life, but I understand her mindset to a certain degree. Her saying she's sorry she wasn't strong enough is something I would have said to my husband if I had gone through with and saw him as the only light in my life. You are not the reason. It was not you. You held her together for as long as she did.
Thank you. I hope that's true. If I was able to light up her world, then maybe I can do that for others.
I am sorry for your loss. I don't think she meant to be strong to tolerate your drinking, but staying strong to stay living and fighting with her own demons. I get that you feel guilty and blame yourself. It is a normal reaction to something that you feel helpless about, also common in victims of SA. For example, I really suggest therapy to cope.
I'm in weekly therapy for my sober maintenance, but I'd be lying if I said she didn't come up extremely often in those sessions.
That's not what she meant. She meant strong enough to stay with you in this world, which she said because she would wanted to stay with you, not because she didn't tolerate you for who you are or were, because she made it very clear you are the love of her life and wouldn't have it any other way had she stayed. But she just couldn't bear staying in a world where she didn't feel like she belonged. You alone could not have changed that. You don't need to know where her ashes are or stone to grieve at. A tombstone is about as symbolic as light, a candle, and dedicating a few minutes thinking about all the good times you had together, or talking to a photo of her and saying all the things you would have liked her to know. Make a little corner in your home or dedicate a shelf in your bookshelf to her with a couple of candles, photos, and something personal that reminds you of her, like a necklace or a ring. You can dedicate a few minutes once a day to this. Tell her about your day, laugh and cry, and try to not let these thoughts and feelings eat you up for the rest of the time. Allow yourself to fill your life with new memories and people and experiences, and be okay with visiting her less frequent with time until it's maybe once a week instead. She would want for you to fill your life with good things, even if she's not here to experience them with you. Look into therapy if you haven't. There's one more thing you can do that to honor her memory and love for you, as well as your love for her. Stay sober.
I still occasionally send her updates about my life to her archived chat on my Telegram. I'm an atheist, but I do like to imagine that she's listening somehow.
I think that's a beautiful thing to do. We can never be sure if our loved ones that are no longer here can hear us, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you get to express the things you want, which is only positive for your mental health, rather than keeping it all in. It will feel like you're dwelling sometimes, but it will ultimately help you move on without erasing her, like her parents did. If she can hear or read what you write, that's just a plus.
Häntä ei voi pyyhkiä pois, jos muistat hänet. Jästäs voin kuvitella, että olet tuskissasi, että tällä hetkellä jopa hengittäminen sattuu. Sille ei voi tehdä yhtään mitään, paitsi jatkaa eteenpäin. Ole rohkea ja muista ystäväsi. Hey man, she didn't do what she did because you drank. You need to know that, man. We can try and be there for people, but at the end of the day, They make their own choices. Brother, I'm proud of you for taking steps to change and trying to embrace sobriety for her memory. I know you don't want to hear this right now, but it wasn't your fault. Huh? It wasn't your fault. Your drinking was not the only cause of this. Please don't fall into the trap of believing that it was. The level of strength it takes to not fall into a bottle when everything else in life is so worthless. Not many people can truly understand. I'm proud of you. I'm sure she would be too. I'm sorry for your loss. I truly wish you nothing but the best. Hän en tehnyt itsemurhaa sinun juomisesi takia. Ehdottomasti ei. Hän ei ollut niin vahva kuin luulit tai kuin hän antoi ymmärtää. Hän oli musertunut elämän tuskasta, perheen hylkäämisestä ja dysforiasta. Olet luultavasti ollut ainoa, joka on pitänyt häntä kasassa noin kauan. Älä syytä itseäsi enää hetkeäkään. Olit hänet elämänsä rakkaus. Hän oli vahva, sisukas ja itsevarma monin tavoin, mutta osa hänestä kärsi vakavasta, helittämättömästä tuskasta. Olen todella pahoillani menetyksestäsi.
When I read the section where you described how she was killed on impact, I sweared. Poor driver. Hopefully she didn't kill, maim, or traumatize anyone by committing suicide this way. By the way, yeah. This is the part suicide by vehicle ignores, hence why most people are downvoting your answer. I have a work colleague. Her husband was a bus driver and it's not uncommon for them to be in this situation. He's not worked in a decade due to PTSD after the second or third one. I'm honestly shocked you were the only one who mentioned that. Personally, my sympathy ended there. Best case, you traumatized one driver. Worst case, you caused an accident and a pileup.
The driver was injured. It was a large truck. They stopped and attempted to render aid, but there was no chance. And by the way, edit to add, I have extreme empathy for the driver. I truly hope they don't feel the same blame that I do or suffer from it forever. And yes, I know, I have extreme empathy for the driver. I hope he doesn't blame himself the way I do.
Would you be able to make a nice small place in your apartment, room, place of living to mourn her? Put up a picture, some flowers, candles, maybe even some seasonal decor if you feel location might be important for your grief and to remember her. Her words can be interpreted in many ways. As someone who has heavily struggled in the past, similar ones came to my mind as well. They always relied on my own issues, not others' faults. The best you can do to keep a memory alive is to live well yourself. There may be options for counseling, which I heavily do recommend, so you can be the light to others she was to you. I'm so sorry for your loss, but I hope that you will be able to live well and see her again in whatever form after a long life with many stories to tell.
Stay sober for you and for her. Don't mourn her. Celebrate her life and your love. She's all around you. Nobody can erase that. I promise you this wasn't your fault. I promise you. You sound like the person that brought her the most joy. You were honoring her memory every day by remembering her and being sober. She's at peace and she is proud of you. It's time that you start to heal too.
Stay sober for you and for her. Don't mourn her, celebrate her life and your love. She's all around you. Nobody can erase that. I promise you this wasn't your fault. I promise you. You sound like the person that brought her the most joy. You're honoring her memory every day, remembering her being sober. She at peace and she's fond of you. It's time you start to help you.
I don't think the strength she was talking about was dealing with your alcoholism. It was probably the strength to deal with how people look and treat her. Her own parents raised her. I don't think you should blame yourself. She didn't blame you, and she would want you to blame yourself.
Don't blame yourself. She clearly had all sorts of other things going on in her life over and above your drinking. Sounds like you were one of the good things in her life.
Mi corazón se hace pedazos al leer esto y me siento tan triste por ella. Lamento tanto que esto te pasara. Por favor, cuídate, vive una buena vida para honrar su memoria y el intenso amor que se tuvieron. Yo también perdí a mi esposo. Él se suicidó. Superarlo jamás será fácil. Jamás olvidaré, siempre estaré contigo en tu corazón. Todo lo que puedes hacer es encontrar una manera de vivir con ese sentimiento, encontrar balance y un sentimiento de serenidad y así podrás vivir bien y sentir alegría. Un saludo y un abrazo.
I don't think the strength she was talking about was dealing with your alcoholism. It was probably the strength to deal with how people look and treat her. Her own parents raised her. I don't think you should blame yourself. She didn't blame you, and she would want you to blame yourself.
I would encourage you to make a memorial where you can acknowledge her and go to grieve. It can be in your home even. She isn't erased. She's in your heart and in everything around you. Do you remember when you first fell in love, how little things around you would trigger you to think of her? This doesn't go away. We just become insensitive to it. Look around you and see her and feel the love that you carry for her. I would also encourage you to seek a support group for someone who lost a loved one to suicide. You can find them by calling your hospital. They will have a list of support groups. The support group is uniquely trained to help people with a specific trauma.
Älä syytä itseäsi. Kuulostaa siltä, että olit valopilkku hänen elämässään. Isäni hirtti itsensä vaatekaapissaan 2 päivää sen jälkeen, kun hän oli päässyt psykiatrisesta sairaalasta ja vietti niin paljon aikaa toivoen, että olisin ollut parempi tytär ja yrittänyt kovemmin tehdä hänet onnellisemmaksi. Mutta hänen vaurionsa oli tapahtunut jo lapsena, kun hänellä oli geneettinen altius masennukselle ja hänen vanhempansa pahoinpitelivät häntä. Itsemurhaan liittyy niin paljon surua. Kaipaat kuollutta henkilöä ja joudut myös käsittelemään sitä tosiasiaa, että et ollut tarpeeksi hyvä pitämään häntä hengissä tai että petit hänen, mutta hän teki sen päätöksen. She wasn't erased. That was just her body, and you know, she was more than a pack of meat and bones. She exists in your memories, and the stories you tell about her, and through the people she loved that loved her back. If you're in the financial position to do so, you can always honor her with a commemorative tree or bench. You don't need her remains to memorialize her. She still exists. I know about her because you told me about her.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Your fiancé sounds like an incredible person. Whatever you're feeling about yourself, about here, about the world, those are valid feelings. Don't be ashamed by the ones that spring up and surprise you. Don't worry about what you should or should feel. You are in the thick of processing everything, and a confusing amount of feelings is part of that. Try not to lose yourself in guilt. That why lies madness, and it's a lie. You did the best you could with what you had. It's not your fault. I lost my fiancé to a freak medical event in 2022. There is no pain kit like losing a soulmate. It's the shortest, most sickening gut punch I've ever experienced. I still grieve every day. It gets easier to carry somehow. I get comfort from remembering that loving and being loved by him has very literally changed my brain chemistry. It has rerouted neural pathways. It has forged new ones from the time we spent together. My brain now holds a physical impressions of what the love we shared looked like. I haven't visited his grave since we buried him, and I don't feel the need to. His body is there, sure, but I carry half of what we both together as a tangible part of me all the time.
I lost my girlfriend this year. We knew each other in college and tried dating then, but didn't work. And settled for close friends. Still, I dreamed of her. I would call her the one that got away or the one I fucked up on. At the end of 2024, we got back in touch and started unofficially dating. Officially dating in February. She passed last July unexpectedly. We never got a chance to introduce each other to each other's family. Her dad and others in her family hate me. I think they remove the flowers I bring her. My friends grow tired of my grief or only care to share their and not listen to mine. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry how her family treated her and your relationship. It's such a unique and hard pain when what you have for each other isn't respected or known. The love wasn't recognized with others, and all you have are the greatest memories of your life. I know you mourn what could have been and what you had. No matter what, you had something beautiful, and I can't speak for what an afterlife looks like. But look out for the little miracles she brings you. You'll find her again, even if it's in the strangest and smallest of ways. Thank you for sharing her memory with us.
তুমি তার স্মৃতিকে শ্রদ্ধা জানাচ্ছ প্রতিদিন শান্ত থাকার মাধ্যমে এবং তাকে মনে করার মাধ্যমে। সে ভালো আছে এবং সে তোমাকে নিয়ে গর্বিত। এখন তোমারও আস্তে আস্তে নিজেকে ঠিক করে নেওয়া উচিত।
When someone has enough sadness and despair to kill themselves, they are fighting demons so dark you could never influence them. It wasn't about your drinking.